On the road to glory. Saturday of the first week in Lent. Ember Saturday. God speaks to us. Jesus took Peter, James, and his brother John, and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and was transfigured before them. From the Gospel of St. Matthew 17, 1-2. Meditations. The Church today invites her children to climb the mountain of Tabor with our Lord, Peter, James, and John. When they had reached the top, our Lord was transfigured before his apostles, and, quote, his face shone as the sun, and his garments became white as snow, end quote. Matthew 17:2. If our Lord already radiated majesty simply by his manner of being, imagine the glory that St. Peter, St. James, and St. John glimpsed on Mount Tabor. To give us an idea of that glory, the evangelists describe our Lord to us in the words they would use for the angel of the resurrection. This episode, placed at the beginning of Lent, is already a foretelling of the resurrection of our Lord. The glory of Tabor prefigures, symbolizes the glory of his resurrection. In offering us this passage, the Church wishes to show us that all our efforts of Lent should allow us to participate in the glory of our Lord's resurrection. But while the episode of the Transfiguration already announces the resurrection of our Divine Master, it also tells of his passion. In fact, by showing his glory to these 3 apostles, our Lord was preparing them to bear the shock of his agony. O Jesus, thou wishest to show me, also, that my efforts of Lent will allow me to partake of thy glory in blessed eternity, and very soon to share in Easter joy. They will let me climb the holy mountain step by step, and will bring me closer to thee. I desire to pursue my efforts, in particular, by greater attention in prayer. Prayer. O Jesus, may thy grace triumph in me, and make me worthy at last to participate in thy glorious transfiguration. From Father Gabriel of St. Mary Magdalene. Let my prayer be directed as incense in thy sight, O Lord, the lifting up of my hands as an evening sacrifice. From the Gradual, Psalm 142. Thoughts. The Christian life has not only its combats and its trials, it also has its consolations. And we have to go from Tabor to Calvary. We come back from Calvary to Tabor with Jesus. It is the foretaste of heaven. The soul follows only one path from Golgotha to Tabor. It leaves Golgotha to find strength and courage on Tabor. Life is that ladder. From Saint Bernadette. By prayer, the soul is like a fish in water. The more the water is abundant, the happier is the fish. The more the soul gives itself over to prayer, the happier is the soul. From the Kyrie of Ars. Resolutions. Number 1. To take great care with our sign of the cross and our act of placing ourselves in the presence of God when we go to pray. Number 2. To have good comportment in church and in the chapel, a dignified posture, silence, recollection, in the presence of our Lord, so as to participate in the joy of the apostles on Mount Tabor. Number 3. To pray for seminarians who enter the clerical state today. They are leaving the lay state to embrace the state of cleric. This is their first step into the hierarchy of the Church.